Hi friends, Ryan here with Renewed Health. Hope you're doing well. As you know, from some time ago, I had endorsed a company called Heavenly Heat Sauna, which is what I've got here behind me. And I wanted to come to you today because I'm super excited about a number of changes that have been taking place. So those of you that aren't aware, in the beginning of 2024, Heavenly Heat, after a number of years under the leadership of a gentleman by the name of Bob Morgan, changed ownership. And changed ownership to a new gentleman by the name of Colin, who's fantastic, by the way. And to be fair, I was a little bit apprehensive about what this might mean from a product integrity standpoint moving forward. Well, here it is in late July of 2024, and I'm excited to tell you I'm really excited about the direction that Heavenly Heat is going in here. So, with that being said, I had some great conversations early on with Colin up at Heavenly Heat about, hey, Colin, number one, you need to really understand what you've purchased here in this company. This is a company that's been focused on producing clean saunas, therapeutic saunas, saunas for people with multiple chemical sensitivities, saunas for people that are really trying to minimize kind of exposure. And we got to make sure you get this right. You know, make sure 100% you get this thing right and don't screw this thing up to ruin a phenomenal brand. And to be fair, like I wasn't sure if Colin really understood that. I can be confident in telling you he does. He does. He really does. So this is a product that there's a lot of new product that has come out. I'm going to talk with you about some of that. There's some exciting new features that have happened as well within the new product line. And there's also some unfortunate realities, and I'll talk about that as well. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what's staying the same. Okay, so staying the same, these Heavenly Heat saunas, they've never used glues. They use screws and nails to put them together. Now, that's important because most saunas on the market are put together with like the same thing in a way that plywood at Home Depot would be made. Multiple different layers of particle board type of thing, sandwiched between layers of glue that's holding it together. Heavenly Heat's going to continue to use solid wood and nails, so there's no risk of non-toxic glues that are outgassing or off-gassing. You know, that's great. They're also not going to be using any plywood. So some products on the market, you'll get your quality sauna that'll come in and you'll realize that the roof is made out of like some type of particle board type of situation, and it's not not the same as the rest of the sauna. They're going to continue to use solid wood through and through. They're also using hemlock from Canada, which is a fantastic wood to be using. And it's a little bit more durable than poplar in the past, which is what this particular one is made of. So let's talk about improvements. Improvement-wise, well, Heavenly Heat saunas have been measurably better than a lot of products on the market in the past in regards to EMF levels and ELF levels. And great news is that the levels on these, on the new product line, are even lower than what the legacy ones are, which is what I've got behind me. So from an EMF standpoint, the website's saying right now less than 2 milligauss, which is fantastic. From an ELF standpoint, the electrical field standpoint, they're saying less than 7 volts per meter. Now, if you hop in a number of big box store saunas or even some endorsed saunas by some health gurus out there in the market, you could get ELF levels that are in the hundreds. And if you're trying to prevent disease and staying really healthy, last thing you want is to have high levels of electrical field. So there's improvements on that. There's also improvements on heat time, so how long it takes the sauna to actually heat up to get to a usable kind of degree. These new saunas are pumping out lots of wattage. It's more efficient in the way that they're structuring their heater design, which is fantastic. So the other thing I'll tell you from an improvement standpoint is that while this sauna wasn't really difficult to put together, it wasn't super easy. The new saunas, super easy. Okay, I'm talking about like you can put these things together with just you and a buddy or a friend or a spouse in relatively short period of time, and so not a million screws to put together. Put it together, snap it together, and that's going to be really important if you were going to move at some point in the future and thinking about maybe I got it together, but will it really go back together the same way in the event that I move? So like that. The other thing that's going to be really important here is that these saunas are going to be available, and what I mean by that is Heavenly Heat has been plagued for years with having really long lead times. Like you place an order, then you go on a waiting list, and then they slowly put it together for you. And they weren't mass produced, and I'll kind of touch on that here in a few minutes. But these are going to be available to ship in significantly quicker ways than what has historically been the case for Heavenly Heat. So let's talk about fit and finish. Well, this particular product behind me has lots of little screws, okay? And little screws all over the place. And on top of that, like some of the fit and finishes around the corners of things really isn't great, okay? And the new sauna is much more refined. So if you've got a modern home, or this is going to go in a place where it's going to be on display, like say in a sunroom or something of that sort, or maybe even part where you're going to have company over, you may want something a little bit more modern, something a little bit more refined. And the new Heavenly Heat Saunas, they just look fantastic. Prices are going to be super competitive. They are super competitive, I'll tell you that. And in addition, they're going to get hotter, okay? The new infrared saunas, they've got them set to where they can now reach up to 165 degrees. And that simply wasn't possible on these legacy models. So at best, this FIR one from 4 or 5 years ago, if I leave it on for an hour and a half or so, it may hit 135, 138 degrees, but it's never going to get beyond 145 degrees. It's just not going to happen. Now, that being said, many of you that have been in a sauna where you've got intense exposure to the heaters, if you've got close enough proximity and the heaters are regularly on, you're not going to be able to handle 165 degrees for 30 minutes. It's just not going to happen, but it's great to know that you've got that option if you want to bump it up. All right, let's talk a little bit about the unfortunate reality. So the unfortunate reality is one of the reasons that these saunas in the past haven't been available is because they've been putting these things together in Arizona in a really small place with just a handful of workers. And that also kind of begs the question is, how come no celebrity endorsements from any major health gurus or folks with major podcasts existed for Heavenly Heat in the past? Well, one of the reasons is because they couldn't produce any kind of volume to even go after and chase after that. They weren't skilled at marketing. When you've got 6 or 7 people putting a sauna together here and there kind of circumstance for a customer, it just wasn't going to happen. Well, unfortunately, with all the improvements in the product line expansion, there is really no way to continue to make these in the United States. So the new product are imported. That being said, they're imported with design standards and protocols and quality levels that, to be fair, have surpassed what we've been able to do with a handful of workers in Arizona in the past. So that's the unfortunate reality. All right, so for product line, here's where it gets exciting. So on the infrared side, there's a 1-person and a 2-person infrared. And as I said here a minute ago, going up to 165 degrees on the new ones that are coming out here, which is phenomenal. And your heat time on the 1-person is going to go quicker. It's going to have closer exposure. Why might you go with a 1-person versus a 2-person? Well, if you're thinking, hey, it's just going to be me, I'm never going to have anybody else in here. Maybe you're even married or you've got a couple of kids, but no one else is going to ever come in the sauna with you. Let's be fair, it's kind of an intimate kind of circumstance. The 1-person might be great. Save yourself a little bit of money. It's going to heat up quicker, can have closer proximity of the heaters to your body, and it's going to also take up less space wherever you have it. So 1-person might be absolutely adequate for you. If you want a larger one, maybe you're a large person, or you maybe occasionally have somebody coming in there, then maybe consider the 2-person. All right, so on the traditional saunas, they're also making traditional rock heater saunas with Harvia saunas from Europe, from Scandinavia, which is a really solid one. And all the same features apply from a design standpoint. The wood, the glues, all those things that I've already highlighted here is going to be the same on the traditional. As for another scenario, combo sauna. All right, this gets interesting. So there's been a lot of misinformation in years about heat shock proteins and about how you have to have 185 degrees or better to stimulate heat shock proteins. I think it's hogwash. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But if you're one of those folks that fall in that camp, you want to figure out, how do I get the detox benefits of a far infrared, and how do I get the heat shock proteins of a traditional rock sauna heater? Well, you've got an option now. Heavenly Heat is producing one that has the infrared panels and a Harvia rock heater in the front. Now, you need to be aware, if you're going to get a traditional sauna or you're going to get a combo sauna, you're going to need to pay an electrician to come out and wire that 240 volt rock heater that's going to go in that option. And you need to also be in consideration of, where am I going to put this? Right now, this sauna behind me is in my bedroom. You put a traditional rock heater in either the combo or the traditional, the volume of ambient heat that's going to be coming out of that is going to heat up this bedroom really significantly. You're also going to have a higher price point for this combo over the infrared. You're going to have the cost factor of having an electrician come in and wire up. You're also going to have the increased electricity rate on that as well. And I would say it's a hard gamble. I mean, if you really just have the cash to burn, you're not worried about those factors, and you want to go with that, it's an option. But I would probably still go with the infrared. A well-designed infrared that gets hot enough, it's got exposure, is absolutely going to generate heat shock proteins and get increased detoxification that you simply can't get. But if you want the benefits of both worlds, that combo option is a pretty nice thing. All right, one other item. This is pretty darn exciting. They've got an outdoor model, okay? And this outdoor model is pretty significant. They've got a shingled roof. They've also put a sealant on the outside of the wood. Okay, the other ones don't have sealants for off-gassing, but if it's outside, you want it to be protected from the rain and elements. And that outdoor model is a combo. It's got the rock heater and it's got the infrared. And it's larger in width and depth and height in comparison to the other models as well. So as far as a great outdoor option, I'll tell you what, if you're looking for an outdoor option to put on your patio or your deck or your sunroom or your pool deck or whatever the case may be, that could be an awesome option. All right, I want to talk with you today about something that no one has brought to the market yet. And this is a properly designed red light sauna. You can take a look at some of the pictures here that we've got. This red light sauna is a two-person setup. It's got the infrared on the inside, like the standard two-person one would. And the front section, instead of having a glass window, it has a red light panel mounted with nothing obstructing the glass. Okay, let me say this. There's no glass obstructing the red light. Okay, so the way that the panel is mounted is the inside of the red light panel is going into the inside of the sauna, and the outside of the red light panel is facing the outside so it can cool, so it's not going to overheat. Okay, and so while many of you already have red light panels, and many of you know that the best way to use a red light panel is not to be sweaty or have any water on your skin, it's absolutely true. If I was going to use this sauna, which candidly, the one that I'm showing you pictures of is in the owner's bedroom right now at his own home, this would be a great option because you turn on the red light panel at the very beginning of your sauna session, you're not sweaty. Okay? You don't have any sweat on you whatsoever. You can take in the therapeutic photobiomodulation, the wavelengths, reduce those inflammation levels, get all the benefits of red light sauna. And then when you start sweating, you can turn it off if you'd like to. If you want to keep it on, you can continue to do that as well. But that red light panel option is a lot of times trying to figure out, well, how do I squeeze in all these things in the course of the day? How do I do my red light therapy and how do I do my sauna? And to put these two together in a way that they've done is genius. Most of the products on the market, actually every other product that I've seen on the market that goes inside a sauna, either doesn't have the output that it needs to have to be therapeutic at the distance that it's going to be from. You can't be 6 feet away from the thing. You also need to have enough LEDs on them. There's little towers that go on the fronts of doors of saunas and things of that sort that just don't have enough candidly output to get a therapeutic benefit. And for those of you that seen people maybe on YouTube where they've stuck a panel on maybe the outside door facing in, you can't get the wavelengths through the glass. The glass obstructs it and drops those output levels down to nothing. So you're just totally wasting your money and your time using red light that way. This is a really, really nice option. I should mention we have an affiliation with Heavenly Heat. So if you use our discount code RENEWED at checkout, it's going to get you some money off. Right now in summer of 2024, these are free shipping in the lower 48 states. And on top of that, you're also getting these tax-free. Tax is already factored into the price. So from a competitive pricing standpoint, it's phenomenal. Little things make all the difference in the world. Okay, there's no, like on the inside of the chromotherapy light that's going to be mounted on the top of your sauna when you turn it on, they're even using glass over top of that instead of plastic. Okay, now you're thinking, well, plastic, what big deal? Well, some of you that have multiple chemical sensitivities understand this, that heating up plastic and breaking it down, there's chemical off-gassing and things of that sort, but to take the attention to put little things like that, glass on it. Colin, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you recognizing and designing these things the right way. Folks, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Lots of exciting changes with Heavenly Heat Sauna. Make sure you tell Colin that we sent you. Use our discount code as well. And we really appreciate your interest in our content. Please be sure to push the like button. Call us if you have any questions as well. And feel free to comment on this. We will get back with you. We're real people. And thanks so much. Have a great day.